I was relieved and I was excited just because it was just kind of like a dream come true.
A new face joins the BYU basketball team and takes on his former school tomorrow night in the Beehive Classic.
And a new camera system is providing a competitive edge for the women's gymnastics team.
We're a really good team that does some really good things, and we're hard to stop, we're hard to beat. And so if we do our thing, I think the results will take care of themselves.
The journey to the NCAA Finals continues as BYU women's volleyball takes on 4-seed Kentucky in today's semifinal matchup. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Alyssa Banks. Only 17 days until Santa comes. It's time for Y Sports.
BYU Creamery debuts a new ice cream flavor, which taste is suited for one of the most decorated coaches in school history.
A team that is used to a lot of spikes, the new trend that is hitting the Smith Fieldhouse.
A performance goes viral. What went into creating the routine that has taken the nation by storm? I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Alyssa Banks. Sports, ice cream, and Cougarettes. It doesn't get much better than that. It's time for the Tube.
Sports comes back. The BYU and Utah State softball teams battle on the diamond. And a thriller in Boston ends with fireworks. The old wagon wheel tradition continues with BYU and Utah State meeting up for the 87th time.
And the gymnastic team names their captains for the upcoming 2017 to 2008 season. Which four girls will lead this year's squad?
This is the first one of hopefully many. We hope this to be a tradition for the Rock.
And the Rock puts on a tailgate to get students hyped for tonight's big matchup against Boise State. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Carla Haslam. It's homecoming week, which means it's time to hike and light the Y, dive into blue foam, eat blue pancakes, and celebrate. And the celebration starts today. It's time for the Tube.
You always want to get that first win. It's important for your team and for confidence.
The season is officially underway. A look at what's ahead for men's hoops after a dominant opening game.
And Nick Emery withdraws from BYU after NCAA investigations throw his eligibility into question.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a bittersweet, emotional game for all of us seniors. We've been here for a long time. We love BYU.
The last home game of the season for 20 seniors, a look forward to a bittersweet moment. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Carla Haslam. Are you wearing your foam finger? Because your number one sports show is back. Y Sports.
When 11 Sports comes back, March Madness down to two teams. Gonzaga and UNC battle for the ship. And Major League Baseball's young stars showed off their skill by lighting up the scoreboard on opening day. BYU football is back after a much-needed bye week as they look to take on in-state rival Utah State.
BYU softball looks to find their new ace after losing the WCC Pitcher of the Year, McKenna Bull.
I don't know, we haven't had a great record so far, but I'm hoping that it goes really well.
And fans react to the biggest games of the week. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Alyssa Banks. It's Friday, game day, and it's time for the Tube. Let's go.
The issue that a lot of people want to pretend doesn't exist.
Players are speaking out after a controversial comment by Texans owner Bob McNair.
The controversy continues with BYU basketball. Nick Emery is under investigation by the NCAA.
As much as it sucked losing, it was really good for us because we really got to reevaluate the things we need to focus on.
The women's volleyball team looks to bounce back after snapping its conference home win streak. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Alyssa Banks. Trump's Twitter is back, and so are we. It's time for Y Sports.
BYU fans got a breath of fresh air with the annual Cougar Tip-Off. What players stood out in the friendly match?
BYU football looks to get its first victory since August 26th. What the team needs to do in order to be bowl eligible.
And that was one of the first signs that you go, man, that kid has a chance.
How one boy's determination and love for the game landed him the starting position at BYU. I'm Zak Hicken.
And I'm Taylor Decker. Let's hope for Halloween BYU can dress up as a winning football team. It's time for Y Sports.
Well, guys, BYU football is back at home, and honestly, I'm kind of worried about this game. They had a bad loss last week. We'll see what they can do this week.
They need to win this week.
It's scary. I'm losing all hope. It just feels bad.
Definitely. At least we have BYU basketball to distract us for the season, and it is coming up right around the corner.
Alyssa, you were at the Marriott Center on Wednesday. What did the Cougar tip-off look like?
It was a lot of fun. It was cool to see all the crowd and the fans were there. It felt good. It was good to be back in the Marriott Center for some trusty, consistent basketball from our guys.
The BYU football team has received large amounts of criticism this year. Y Sports reporter Phil Hyatt tells us how the team is grouped together in the face of adversity. That strong finish will need to start tomorrow versus San Jose State University.
With last week's loss to the worst defense in the nation, ECU, it brought even more confirmation that the team needs to be reevaluated. I spoke with the team about what they have to look forward to.
Yeah, hopefully for BYU's sake, they have Ula available to play, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
It'd be really nice if they could win out just for these seniors.
Definitely. Men's basketball plays in a charity exhibition game tonight, while the team decided to play and the impact the game will have on thousands struggling from recent natural disasters.
A BYU athlete hits his way to nationals. Stay with us to find out the Cougars' up-and-coming ace.